The future belongs to those who dare, those who will do extra. Hi, I'm Mark Croskery, and welcome to Business Live Extra, the program that looks beyond dollars and cents to the movers and shakers in business and the capital markets. Today's guest has a wealth of experience of over 20 years in the field of sales, marketing, and general management. He has served in several managerial positions during his extensive career at Grace Kennedy. He holds a Bachelor of Science degree in Management Studies from the University of the West Indies. He furthered his studies at Florida International University, FIU, and secured an MBA. He believes in improving the life of young Jamaicans and serves as a director of the Governor General of Jamaica's I Believe initiative. Let us welcome today's guest, Derek Cottrell, Chairman and CEO of Derrimon Trading Company Limited. Derek, welcome to Business Live Extra.
Thank you, Mark.
It's great to have you
here.
Yeah, thank you. You know, Derek, we haven't had somebody yet on the show that just represents, I like to call it the private equity of food. It's amazing what you have done and your team with the mass, kind of expansion and the speed at which you've done it. How have you managed to really pull that off as Derek Cottrell?
Well, God is good. Let me start there. We have managed to do a lot in a very short space of time, and we want to give all glory and honor to God because He has been guiding us from day one. We have an excellent team because you can't do this kind of thing without people. It's our greatest asset. I like to say our number one asset isn't actually listed on our balance sheet. It's our people. Mm-hmm. And so we have invested in our people, we have worked with our people, and we have managed to help the company to grow to where it has. And we're really very proud of the achievements of our team. Yeah, really, really good job.
And when you look back, Derek, even pre-IPO, before you went public, maybe even 10 years ago or so, what do you credit though this rapid growth and successful growth to? Is it that you think there's been some sleepy competitors, or the market was a bit stagnant, or is there a special sauce to you and Derrimon?
Well, I'll be frank with you, I don't really focus on other people's business. Mm-hmm. I mean, I wish everybody the best in their business, but we try to focus on our business and to look at the opportunities that we see. We see opportunities, and where we think it fits our business, we go after it. And we have managed to, we decided that we wanted to be in the food business. That's a business that I know. So we decided to integrate both forward and backward vertical integration. We think it was a very good business model. So we moved from distribution into retail, and now we are doing a little bit of manufacturing, and we want to grow further in those areas. We think that there's opportunities to grow in Jamaica, there's opportunities to grow outside of Jamaica. So we think to maximize the investors' dollar, we need to not be too passive, mm-hmm. but to be aggressive, cautious but aggressive, to ensure that we secure shareholders' wealth.
And to that point, a lot of sectors are consolidating in Jamaica, but you've been really driving this, food acquisition, or whether it's manufacturing, distribution in food, and kind of doing deals or doing mergers and acquisitions, which hasn't really been seen in the sector. But the stock market, the analysts that I talk to, they really like what's happening. And in a way, going back to that point, it's almost like looking at Derrimon like a finance or a private equity company, but you're just gobbling up these food companies. And it's an important point. I mean, what drives you every day, and how did you get Derrimon to do that?
Well, I love people, and we have a nice cadre of young people who want to grow, who want to experience a different life, who want to show their talents. So we have to grow the business in order for people to express themselves that way. We also think that like I said before, there are several great opportunities. There are people who are looking to go on to different segments of their life. They maybe wanted to retire. Mm-hmm. We help in that area. The succession plan is not as good as it should be in some areas. Sometimes the succession plan is there, but people see and like what we do and want to join with us and have partnerships. So we see this tremendous opportunity to grow businesses, to continue successful businesses, and so that's what drives us, daily. We have, like I said, a cadre, a very good cadre of young people who really want to grow, and we.
So your thought process is really, the more Derrimon grows overall, you'll either have like new segments, new departments, or subsidiaries, but places where your people can find a home and grow into and stick with you.
Yes, that's a part of the philosophy. We want to develop talent, grow talent, expose them to different aspects and different areas of business, and we think it's a win-win situation.
That's great. And what drives you now? Every day, still waking up. I mean, we look at a lot of conglomerates, or we look at even other sectors. I mean, they kind of stay in the zone, make the EBITDA, make the profit, but you're still out there, you're still doing deals, you're making the subsidiaries work or the companies. What's driving you every day still from, say, not just, being comfortable or hanging it up?
Well, our philosophy, grow or die. I don't think you can remain the same. If you try to remain the same, you're going to die eventually. So I believe strongly in growth. I believe also that Jamaica can do a lot better, not just businesses locally, but we need to do better internationally. Mm-hmm. So we have a big push now to grow, not just in Jamaica, but outside Jamaica. We think that there's tremendous talent here in Jamaica, and we think that more Jamaican businesses need to own businesses in bigger markets. And so we are ventured outside of Jamaica. We are loving it. We think there's tremendous opportunities there. Mm-hmm. There's a change of the guard and generational changes. And so we want to participate in that. And we think it's very good for Jamaica, very good for Jamaican investors, very good for our people generally. And it gives opportunities for people to grow and get higher level jobs. Excellent. In better paying markets.
And I've heard you say before, Derek, so to that point, do you feel that, as Jamaica itself, do you feel like sometimes we undervalue ourselves or undervalue our assets? Like, we are worth more. I mean, we could be doing more deals here, more things here.
Oh, without question. Jamaica is a fantastic place, and we are fantastic people. It's one of the best. I've visited 63 countries. Praise God, I've managed to do a bit of travel, and Jamaica is still one of the best countries that I've visited, and the one I choose to live in. Mm-hmm. I think we have tremendous talent here. I think this is an undervalued country. I think we need to spend more time on developing the human capital. We should be easily the #1 country on this side of the world. There's no reason why Jamaica shouldn't be like the UAE, Dubai, or one of those. People be more familiar with Dubai than does the UAE, but that Emirates is a pretty good model that Jamaica could follow. There's really no reason why Jamaica shouldn't be there. We need to just spend more time on developing the human capital.
Yeah. In the early years, you grew Derrimon through leverage, and a lot of other entrepreneurs would be afraid of that, or they're bored, or their confidants would say, "Don't do it." But you made it work, and then you recently did an additional public offer APO and paid down your leverage, but you grew through leverage. Any lessons there, or any things that you could share with other entrepreneurs that why you think it worked for you and how you made it work?
Well, we had no other choice to work. We didn't have the capital, so if we're going to grow, we'd have to learn to manage. Thankfully, there was confidence in us, for us to be loaned the money. Mm-hmm. We thought that was, it was a pretty easy and obvious way to grow. We were confident in what we were doing. We were rewarded with success, and so I'd also say the fact that interest rates were falling helped, because to borrow, to grow, starting business with double digits interest rates would have been tough. Yes. We started in double digits interest, but we could speed up things as interest rates fell to single digits, and now they are around about the 6, 7, 8 mark. We wanted to be lower. Right. I don't know if the BOJ is going the wrong direction. Right. Yeah. We still need to be aggressive and use leverage to grow. So we did the APO, but we're still in a growth mode.
So you could take on some more leverage if it's deemed fit or so.
Yeah.
Great. We're going to come back to that point. Thanks. And we take our first break on Business Live Extra. More when we return. Welcome back to Business Live Extra. Derrimon Trading Company Limited has been a major distributor of consumer goods to the Jamaica market since 1998. In 2009, Derrimon acquired Sampar's Cash and Carry to expand the company's reach in the markets of the retail food trade. Derrimon is now one of the leading distributors of consumer products in Jamaica. The company has expanded exponentially every year since its inception and shows no signs of slowing down. By attracting and concluding partnerships with global distribution and manufacturing companies, Derrimon has joined the ranks of the largest distribution and major companies in Jamaica. We're speaking to Derek Cottrell, Chairman and CEO of Derrimon Trading Company Limited. Derek, welcome back to Business Live Extra.
Thank you, Mark.
You know, talking about Sampar's, can every Jamaican go down to Sampar's, or is it just for the bulk purchases, big restaurants, big hotels?
Sampar's is for everybody, but specifically Sampar's is really for the people who want to save money.
Okay.
Right? If you're not interested in saving money, perhaps we're not the kind of place you want to shop. But once you're interested in saving money, Sampar's is for you.
Sampar's. Are you smiling and laughing when you talk about Sampar's?
Yes, yes.
Is Sampar's in a way like your baby, or they always say maybe a chairman has a baby in the company?
Well,
or
I've
favorite
several
piece?
babies. Yeah.
Okay.
I like supermarkets. In fact, my first job, my first stint at Grayscale, was 9 months in a supermarket. At Hilo.
At Hilo?
Yes.
Okay.
And I pretty much learned how to run a supermarket from then, and I made note.
Yes.
Sampar's actually third generation, quote unquote, Grace, because it used to be Grace Cash and Carry. It was sold to the managers at the time,
did not know
Sam
that.
Richards and Hugh Parsons.
Right.
And I was their salesman when I was at Grace.
Yeah.
And Sam insisted that I buy the business, and
wow. Okay.
back in 2009. So it's kind of third generation Grace. So I like the history. I respect the history.
Mm-hmm.
And Sampar's has done a tremendous amount of work for Jamaicans generally, because we have managed to keep food prices low. And Sampar's does a lot of work in the communities that it serves.
And especially in these times with the pandemic, I mean, financial challenges,
Yes.
it means a lot.
Without question.
Yeah.
Without question.
And they're coming to that point about you being in the supermarket and personal touch. I mean, I've even heard stories to this day, if you're in Select Grocers or some of your other businesses, you still kind of go up to the customer randomly and ask them for feedback on how things are going. Even if you keep it very low key, but there are those stories in the marketplace, and even at this stage as a chairman, you still go and do that.
Yes, it's important. I have to listen to the customers. If you want to be successful, listen to the customers and pretty much do what they tell you to do.
Right.
So I like the direct feedback. I walk the store. I must be honest, since COVID, it's not as much as I used to, but I used to be in that store every single day.
Okay.
I opened that store. We managed to remodel and open that store in 3 months. I was a contractor.
Okay.
So I know that store pretty well. Yeah. And not just that store, but Crossroads and Marcus Garvey Drive. I spent quite a bit of time in the stores.
How many Sampar's are there now across Jamaica?
Well, there are 8 Sampar's and 1 Select Grocers.
Okay.
And there will soon be a second Select Grocers in Maypen.
Yeah.
The consumers in Maypen can look forward to a fantastic experience in retail shopping, retail grocery shopping, early next year when we open Select Maypen.
And in your latest quarterly report or earnings report, it does say next year, but that's going to be the biggest, right? Is it going to be the biggest?
Yes, it's going to be 41,000 square feet.
Okay.
It's going to be one of the biggest supermarkets in Jamaica. We have some special features in that store. Consumers are going to love it. To begin with, they can avoid getting into the town of Maypen, which is very congested. They will be able to shop in the store, which is located at the Millennium Mall, Sagicori's Millennium Mall, right at the big roundabout in Maypen. And so consumers are going to really love it.
And when you did your studies or your whole strategy there, are you getting feedback, or are you thinking that persons from Kingston will drive down there, or is it going to be more focused on
I think people
demographic,
leave
the
from
geography.
Kingston down there because we're going to have some very special offerings that not even the Kingston stores are going to have.
Okay.
We'll have people coming off the highway who are on their way to Mandeville and St. Elizabeth shopping in that store. And we'll have people coming out because it's a comfortable drive.
So it will become like a pit stop as well.
I think it will be. It's going to be a fantastic store. I'm excited about that store.
That store. And one of the reasons, is that what drives you, Derek? Like you like to be in the trade, so when you go into select grocers or the Sampars, you feel like you're back in the business, like,
Yes.
you know, when you just started Derrimon?
I like people. I'm a people person. I like talking to people. I like listening to people. I like seeing how I can help to change lives, whether it's the customer or a young Jamaican or an older person. I really like people. That's what I really like.
And what drives all that? Now, you know, your wife is HR director, company secretary, director. Did Sampar start with the both of you, or did you start it and she came in after, or the Derrimon group, or how did the whole foundation get going and booming?
Well, Derrimon started. I left Grace Kennedy and I had all this knowledge. I wanted to utilize it. So my first customer actually gave the company that name, gentleman by the name of Richard Blackford.
Okay.
And he merged my wife's name with mine to come up with Derrimon.
Okay.
We started out doing sugar. We were selling to the manufacturing sector. Then I began selling corned beef and red peas and commodities, generally speaking. Then we became distributors for Nestle, and that really got us into the day-to-day distribution of products. My wife was working.
You found a global brand, like once you onboard that, it gave you more credibility?
Without question, without question.
Okay.
Nestle has done, representing that big brand. Nestle is the biggest food company in the world, and we have managed to help them to grow their business, but in turn we have gotten recognition and we have gotten a lot of knowledge from working with Nestle. So it's an excellent partnership.
Right, okay. And, you know, I've been to Sambars a couple of times, and the culture seems just really nice. Like even, you know, when persons say old-time Jamaica.
Right.
I mean, what has driven that? Is that coming from kind of Monique in, you know, as the HR director coming down? Is that coming from the board? But everybody seems very helpful. You know, regardless of the offerings. But you don't see that in every supermarket nowadays. So what's different about Derrimon?
Well, we try to keep our employees happy. We see them as members of a team, and if we keep our staff and our team members happy, then they in turn will, you know, be able to give good service to our customers and keep our customers happy. So it's a philosophy from the top that permeates right through the entire organization. We want to keep our internal customers happy. We especially want to keep our external customers happy.
Yes.
We want to keep our suppliers happy, right? So we try to, we are a people company. We value people and we treat people with respect accordingly. So
there's always compensation, but do you do a lot of recognition you find at Derrimon, like within? And
we do a bit, and frankly speaking, we want to do more. So yes, but we do quite a bit of recognition. Virtually every member of staff have my personal phone number. They can pick up the phone and call me. I admire feedback from them because I tell people we have about 750 employees now, and I like to say 750 brains.
So that's with all the companies?
With all the companies.
All the subsidiaries?
Yeah.
Okay.
I emphasize the 750 brains. I want to hear from them, get their ideas, listen to them, because brilliant ideas can come from anywhere. You know, there's no monopoly on brilliant ideas. So we try to open ourselves up to listen to our team members.
Yeah. And Derek, you touched on Grace, right? You know, where you got 25 plus years, you know, fast-moving consumer goods market, and you got all this experience. And it's always been kind of said, you know, Carlton Alexander, legend in his own right. Heard about him all the time growing up, had a special spot for you. You know, you were one of like the up-and-coming persons. You'd always hear about your name sometimes in corporate circles. What do you think, you know, did you learn a lot from him? You know, what did you think you got from Carlton? And it's always been said, you know, Carlton created the whole credit in the supermarket business, especially with the Chinese markets and everywhere. I mean, what was Carlton like? And, you know, what did you glean from him?
Well, I spent 14 years at Grace Kennedy, my first 14 years of working. And we like to call it the University of Harbour Street, and it was a university. I learned a lot at Grace Kennedy. I joined Grace towards the end of Mr. Alexander's tenure as chairman, but he was always the kind of chairman that was present.
Okay.
And so I remember on 1988 with Gilbert, I learned and understood how to look at crisis, and with crisis becomes opportunities. And that was a lesson I definitely learned that helped me throughout my career, because 1988 was one of Grace Kennedy's best years, despite Gilbert. Mr. Alexander managed to keep the company open even without a warehouse. We lost the entire roof at the warehouse, but the company, Gilbert was a Monday, and by the Wednesday, we began to deliver goods. And when other distributors were closed, Grace Kennedy managed to remain open and delivering and serving the customers, even without a warehouse.
So he actually was very people-centric, customer-centric, and, I mean, hands-on if he needed to be.
If he needed to be, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It sounds like you know.
Well, I wouldn't compare myself to such a great man, but I learned quite a bit from him. And then after him was Douglas Arain, who I worked a lot closer with over the years, and I learned quite a bit from him also.
And when you departed there, that would have been like in the 90s or so?
I left Grace Kenny in 1998.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah. And here we are with Derrimon 2.0. We're going to talk about it.
Yes.
Yeah. We take another break on Business Live Extra. More when we return. Welcome back to Business Live Extra. Derrimon Trading Company Limited was listed on the Jamaica Stock Exchange in 2013. The company's mission is to provide a wide portfolio of products and services that will add value for its customers and suppliers. Over the past year, Derrimon raised approximately 3.5 billion Jamaican dollars through an APO in January 2021. At the close of the half year ending June 2021, Derrimon had cash and investment resources of approximately $1.5 billion. The company saw growth in earnings of 55.5% year over year to $285 million, while revenue stood at $8.05 billion, reflecting an increase of 27.8% over the comparative period 6 months in 2020. Still with us is Derek Cottrell, Chairman CEO, Derrimon Trading Company Limited. Derek, welcome back.
Thank you, Mark.
We get to talk about the numbers, and the numbers are good.
Oh, praise God.
Yeah.
We're doing well.
And, you know, is it the Food Saver transaction? Is it just a multitude of things that have been happening? What's driving not just the top line growth, but what's driving the profits as well in the last 6 months?
It's all of the above. We believed in diversification, and it has proven to be a charm, particularly in these difficult times. So the diversification strategy has worked tremendously well for us. So it's our diverse base that has caused us to do so well.
And when you say diversification, are you calling that like doing a deal outside of Jamaica, or is it just different parts of the food game?
All of the above. It's our ability to source better. It's our ability to use some economies of scale. It's the fact that we're both in retail and wholesale, distribution and manufacturing, and supporting the manufacturing sector. So we're a diverse company, so it's difficult for us to take a big hit.
Right.
Pretty much if one area is down, another area will be up.
And the profits have grown.
Yes.
Margins seem a bit better. What's happening there? What's changed there also?
Well, our emphasis on retail has helped quite a bit, because we have managed to keep our costs down, and so we can keep more of our margins. We have also managed to buy better, so even in these trying times. But so far this year, we managed to, we saw what was happening, and so we bought some products long, so we managed to benefit from higher margins there.
You kind of bulked up on inventory or pre-bought inventory?
Yes, we had some contracts that were long, and that helped quite a bit.
And Derek, do you find, you're ever present? Do you find it's like it's a gut feeling between you and a few persons, or you know the company has kind of spread its wings and its management where you know you're getting these reports now to say, boy, boss, we need to stock up on inventory a lot more. What's the vibe like at Derrimon?
Well, it's a team effort. We have business analysts who go through and study what's happening in the various segments of the business and also in the various markets. We have buying experts who will look at what's happening from sources and suppliers in certain regions, the challenge with shipping and all of that. So we have some expertise inside. Plus, we have seen not a pandemic before, but we are accustomed. I'm not in particular new to managing crisis.
Okay.
And our ability to make decisions quickly has helped us quite a bit. The agility of Derrimon is probably apart from its people, is our biggest asset. We managed to make decisions pretty quickly and move decisively.
And to that point, do you think the revenue growth, the profit growth will continue, or is this kind of a one-off because of the pandemic and there's a little bit of a food boom happening?
No, it's going to grow. We're going to continue to grow. Derrimon will continue to grow. We were looking back at some numbers and we recognized that for the past 9 years, there's no 2 year that we can compare to say they are the same.
Okay.
The business has been different every single year for the past 9 years. And 2022 will be no different. The business is going to be a different business. We're going to have new segments, growth, organic growth. It's going to be a different business that we're comparing in 2022 to 2021. And we expect that to be the same in 2023.
Yes. And you have a number of subsidiaries, so you've made investments over the years, which are pretty much all doing well. They're performing, especially the listed one, Caribbean Flavors. When you've done these deals, have you moved people or staff outside of Derrimon's core into these subsidiaries to help, or are these standalone kind of companies? How do you integrate them?
We pretty much would integrate by putting somebody from Derrimon core in those businesses, in most cases. Not in every single case. In the case of Woodcat, we didn't have to. They had a pretty decent management team in place. But we support it with head office, we'll support with HR, with IT, with security, finance. And of course, I will give my own personal support there.
So you kind of pull on the group's core strengths.
Exactly.
Right.
And we have managed to, and plus our philosophy of growth and customer service. So it becomes, for the want of a better term, Derrimonized.
Derrimonized.
Right.
It's a good word.
Right.
To that point, Woodcats, right? It's sometimes it's a bit of a confusing business or a weird business in a sense, but it seems like something even Buffett would buy or Berkshire Hathaway. It's like one of those companies nobody knew about. Right. How did it come on Derrimon's radar, and why did you buy it?
Well, we heard the company was selling. The previous owner wanted to transition to something else. And there were probably about 4 people who were up to buy the company.
Really? Okay.
Yes, so we were the first to visit the location. And I visited the location, had a chat with the gentleman, and he told the broker not to sell anybody else, he's going to sell to us.
Okay.
And they said, but you haven't even settled on a price. He said, it's okay. I'm comfortable with these guys. I think they'll take care of my staff. I think they'll take care of the business. I think they'll take care of my legacy. I don't need to see anybody else. Right. And we negotiated a good deal for both of us, and the rest is history. The company is doing very, very well, and we have huge plans for Woodcats going forward.
And what does unlike Caribbean Flavors and a few other deals like Sampire, Select Grocers, we know what those do. We can just read about them and know what does Woodcats do. Like what's the product?
Woodcats' primary product is pallets, wooden pallets, but we also do plastic pallets. We also do mulch. So almost all the mulch you see in Jamaica, that red mulch, is Woodcats. We don't believe in waste. Okay. Not even the sawdust is wasted. Okay. We collect the sawdust and we sell the sawdust. Okay. Right.
And how can someone just go straight to Woodcats or drive down there and buy it, or is that distributed through some of your distribution arms?
Most of the farm stores and horticultural stores will sell the wood chips and the mulch. In terms of the sawdust, we sell it to a lot of our exporters.
Ah,
Yes,
okay.
they use it, for example, yam exporters.
Packaging, right.
Use it for
right.
packaging, and it is,
Got you.
especially sawdust from us, is very good.
Okay.
We also support the export business by doing fumigation. So we'll fumigate the pallets, and we'll also fumigate the products.
Okay.
So that's essentially what Woodcat does. And for those who understand manufacturing, you can't run a manufacturing line without pallets.
Without
It
pallets.
stops.
Okay.
It literally stops if you don't have
So there
pallets.
is some vertical integration there as well.
Yes,
It supplies your core business or your businesses.
that's correct.
No, with Caribbean Flavors, you hit a big deal there. Not only is it profitable, working well, but you create a lot of equity value and value for Derrimond Group. Any plans to do something similar with the grocery side or Select Grocers, or even with Woodcats to IPO any of the other subsidiaries or segments, spin-offs, like what we're seeing in the market now, or keep it private?
We haven't made that kind of decision yet. It's a possibility, but we haven't looked at that decision at this point in time. I think we're comfortable where it is right now, but who knows what will happen in the future.
Okay.
We'll
So
take advice from our
you're open and
financial
willing to create
analysts.
more shareholder value
Of course,
if you need to.
Of course, of course. We constantly evaluate what's best for the business and what's best for the shareholders. So yes, yeah.
And when you look at Select Grocers, Derek, I mean, if with SunPower you have X number of locations, do you see Select Grocers becoming like a household brand or name across
Yes.
Jamaica? Is that kind of the long-term vision?
We intend to grow both Select Grocers and SunPower.
Okay.
So we every year I think we'll see us adding to our store count, because we believe that there's a special service, a special quality that we bring to the retail industry that we want more Jamaicans to have
Right.
easier access to.
Besides the brick and mortar, with everything we're seeing digital and so forth, are you offering any, online ordering,
Oh, yes.
home-to-home delivery or business-to-delivery, anything happening in the digital space? Kind of like what, Amazon does. I mean, Walmart has partnered. Lots of these companies have partnered. But anything happening there?
Well, 10 years ago, we launched www.shopsunpowers.com. And that has been a tremendous product.
And is it in-house or are you doing joint ventures?
It's in-house. It's in-house, 100% in-house. And with our venture overseas, we are going to be expanding the offerings. So right now, pretty much most of the traffic, it is locals buying for themselves here, or people in the diaspora shopping for their family members here in Jamaica. That's primarily where our customer base is.
Okay.
With our expansion into North America, we're going to expand the offering to Jamaicans, Caribbean people living outside of Jamaica who want to shop online for Caribbean products. To do so, and we can use New York and other locations we'll have in North America as fulfillment center. Okay. So we'll be able to have, we have 330 million people in the United States alone.
Yeah.
We're going to...
So you get those synergies and how it works and everything.
We want to open up ourselves for that. So the emphasis for 2021, as with any acquisition, is not necessarily to grow, but to ensure that we bring the business under our control and our management style, to ensure that the business operating with the requisite controls and efficiencies, then we'll begin to grow.
But I like what you said. You got to Derrimonize it.
Yes.
That's a key word. I like it. We take another break on Business Live Extra. More with Derek Cottrell, Chairman, CEO of Derrimond Trading Company Limited, when we return. Welcome back to Business Live Extra. Derrimond's retail segment comprises of SunPower's outlets, Select Grocers, and Food Saver New York, which is their first overseas acquisition. One of the company's goals is to continue to focus on the growing retail segment of the business, as well as expanding the overseas operations for FX earnings. The group's other businesses are Woodcats International, Caribbean Flavors and Fragrances, both located in Jamaica. Derrimond Trading is looking towards organic growth moving into 2022. But what else do they have up their sleeves as they continue to grow their brand and footprint? We find out what is in store for Derrimon 2.0 and get plans to get Derrimon into high gear. For a final time, we are joined by Derek Cottrell, Chairman, CEO, Derrimon Trading Company Limited. Derek, you know, it's a great point. We're just talking about, you know, Derrimonize or, you know, Derrimon monetize. You know, it has a good jingle to it. But any which way you look at it, you know, there's this phrase you've been using now, Derrimon 2.0, and it showed up in your earnings reports and probably even your annual general meeting. Yes. It has a nice ring to it. You know, it sounds like Apple, or it just sounds futuristic.
Yes.
What's it all about? Maybe at a granular level. What's happening with this 2.0?
Okay. Well, we want to become a world-class company, and so we're using world-class measurements to judge our performance in every way, shape, and form. We think there's tremendous growth potential, not just here in Jamaica, but overseas. And we're putting in the infrastructure to ensure that we can take advantage of the opportunities that are knocking on our doors presently and opportunities that are to come. So essentially, Derrimon 2.0 is to make Derrimon into a world-class company.
Okay. And you know, does that mean you've been kind of on board in management? I mean, have you created, I don't know, a incubator unit or a business development arm, or, you know, what's kind of happening there? Because you've grown this company so much with, the perception is a few of you. That's the perception. Yes. And you've done a hell of a job of it. But, you know, to go to the next level with all these acquisitions, you know, sometimes analysts wonder, you know, should there be a more expansive executive team or so forth? Are there some type of management onboarding happening, or?
Yes. The executive tend to be the face of the company, but the real workers are the managers.
Okay.
So we have done a lot of strengthening of our management team. We have brought in logistics experts. We have brought in business analysts. We have brought in marketing experts. We have a strategic planning unit now that does quite a bit of work with myself and Ian, and also the general managers of the business, the various business units.
So it's almost like a kind of like, you know, they have that fancy acronym now, Financial Planning and Analysis Unit or something. But you're linking all of these things together now. Right.
Okay. So we have brought in quite a bit of talent. And in addition to that, we have brought in some interns straight out of university.
Okay.
We wanted them young, straight out of university, didn't work before. We brought them in last year. We have done a year with them, trained them up. Unleashing them in the business now into various areas of the business.
So that's not just a goodwill thing. That's actually like a permanent thing. They stay in the company. It's not just a stint.
No. It's not a stint. This is young people need opportunity to express themselves and to grow. And we brought them in.
You're injecting new blood, fresh eyes.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And train them up in terms of how the business work. And we want to listen to them also, because listening is something that we like to do. I remember being a 19, 20-year-old coming with a lot of ideas. Some were not so practical at the time, as I learned, but some were pretty good. Yeah. So I listened to you know, our interns or new people who come in with their ideas, and we give them an opportunity to express themselves. That has been working very well. So every year we're going to bring in a batch, and we're growing so we can absorb them into our business. So it's not like, you know, we'll be going on numbers anyhow. Mm-hmm. So we are investing in the young talent in Jamaica to bring them up so they have a home to grow in business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Gotcha. And the Food Saver transaction, or the New York deal, that has been integrated pretty seamlessly, would you say? Has it had some obstacles, any challenges, or you're satisfied with it now?
We're very satisfied. We took a year to plan, and so the implementation was virtually seamless. In fact, we have exceeded some of our expectations. There's probably only one area that we have not managed to integrate at the pace we wanted to, which is the IT, but that's really because of issues that nobody had any control of. It's really the pandemic.
Yes.
You know, but that's going to come on board properly next year, so we'll be fully integrated. But we have full control of the business. We understand. We have Derrimonized it.
Yeah.
and so we are very happy with Food Saver. Mm-hmm. We could not have made a better acquisition. and it is doing very well, and the customers are very happy with what we are
And
providing
why,
for them.
you know, Derek, just looking at it, why go into retail in the US or into New York? What was the strategy behind it? Like, you know, why do that?
Well, it's a much bigger market, US dollars. There's so much attraction to it. And when you enter the ethnic market, it's different from entering mainstream supermarkets. We also wanted a way to grow, and Jamaica is only 3 million people.
Okay.
There's a limit as to how far you can go here. We see ourselves growing much, much bigger than we are. And so we have to be able to have a global outlook.
Is there, besides the growth and, you know, the market size, are there some Jamaican products either in your, like, you know, the Derrimon Wheelhouse or your other subsidiaries that are heading up to New York, or is that insignificant?
That was not necessarily our focus, but though there's opportunities for that, is really to manage and grow the retail sector, to give even Jamaican, even not just Derrimon brands, but other Jamaican brands an opportunity in the diaspora. We have been working with smaller brands that want an opportunity, and we'll provide that opportunity as a Jamaican-owned company to give another Jamaican company a break. Sometimes you have small people who, for example, breadfruit. I think this year Jamaica, I can't say for sure, but from what I've seen, it's probably the most breadfruit we have exported out of Jamaica this year. And Food Saver was a major part of that because we provide a constant flow of products into the United States. So we are providing that kind of service, not just for ourselves, but for manufacturers in Jamaica to have an opportunity to showcase their products on an international stage.
Perfect. And where do you know, with all the different subsidiaries, what's interesting is that you actually can see a lot happening, you know, from your customers and the size of their businesses, and it's like a nice pool for you. And you know, obviously not the goal, but you can see pretty much maybe the entire sector in Jamaica happening. You know, based on that and everything, where do you see Derrimon really going? You know, Derek, 5, 10 years from now, do you think you will still be the shareholder? Do you think maybe a private equity company comes in? I mean, is it a long-term game for you? What's the outlook for Derrimon?
It's a long-term game for me because I think there's so much that we can do for Jamaica. I'm really passionate about Jamaica and Jamaicans, people generally, but I'm partial to where I'm from and Jamaica. So we see a lot more we can do for growing this business and for increasing the wealth of Jamaicans. So there's no immediate plans to sell out to a majority shareholding to a foreign company, etc. We think we're just scratching the surface right now.
So at this stage, you're passionate about keeping it Jamaican?
Yes, we are very passionate
about keeping it in the family as much as possible.
Well, the Jamaican family, because...
Yes, you have a lot of minority shareholders.
Yes, a lot.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, because, you know, you see, there was even a recent article about Rare Nephew, you know, hitting some record sales, but, you know, it's owned by an overseas conglomerate now, and we've seen so much of our brands, you know, DNG go through it, Lascelles Rum. So there is some, you know, instinct in you or something to keep it for Jamaicans.
Yes, I think there's some things we just have to keep, and that's my vision right now for this too. I mean, we'll partner with people from abroad, but in terms of the core Derrimon operations and the core ownership of the business, we prefer to keep it with Jamaicans.
And you know, you've been in the sector for quite a while, 25+ years or so. You've been in the Derrimon hot seat for a while. Is there any business continuity, you know, besides what you're doing with the departments now, of where you'll kind of maybe just go into the chairman or the executive chairman role alone?
Yes.
Or do you want to be a lifetime CEO?
No. I will never be a lifetime CEO. In fact, I've already set my departure date, which I won't announce now.
Okay.
But internally,
so
everybody knows my departure date as CEO. I'll stay on as chairman because I don't think I'll ever retire.
Yes.
But I won't be CEO for life. I'm not.
Okay.
You see.
So business continuity is an important thing.
We have 4 levels of business continuity at most of the critical jobs in the company, positions in the company. We have already 4 levels of succession plan, and people pretty much know their path already. I am not going to stay on as CEO for life.
Yes.
I think a new CEO will bring brighter, fresher ideas, younger, more energy, and that person will do their time, and then another CEO.
So it's all about the agility, and
yes.
people have upside.
Yes, yeah.
Yes. And Derek, would you say you've grown so much through acquisitions? Still on an acquisition hunt, or are you settled growing organically now? What are we to look forward to?
We'll be acquired.
So you're still hungry?
We're still hungry, yes. There's a lot of opportunities there, and we see that we are nowhere near our capacity.
Really?
Yes, nowhere near.
So
we have put in a lot of structure, particularly quietly in the last year and a half, that will help us to expand.
Take
much
more capacity.
Bigger. Yes.
So it's
and the capacity I'm talking about is mostly people, because that is the most difficult factor, and that's normally the inhibiting factor.
Yes.
So we have invested in people. We're continuing to invest in people.
They're strong in innovation and research and development.
Exactly.
All right. So it's about Derrimon growing and staying hungry.
Yeah, we're going to be continuing to grow. That's the only way we know. Yeah. Like I said, grow or die.
Yeah. Derek, thank you so much for coming on Business Live Extra.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, same here. Thanks a lot. That's it for another edition of Business Live Extra. Remember, quality is the best business plan. We've been talking with Derek Cottrell, Chairman and CEO of Derrimon Trading Company Limited. Don't forget, you can watch us online, cvm.com/videos/Business Live Extra. Thanks for joining us.